Single-player games are where storytelling, immersion, and pure craftsmanship shine brightest on the PlayStation 5. Today, we're diving into 16 of the absolute best single-player experiences you can play on PS5 right now. Games with unforgettable stories, incredible gameplay, and worlds you won't want to leave. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, because this list is packed with masterpieces. Let's get into it.
Kicking things off, we have Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, one of the best Metroidvania-style games available on PS5. Ubisoft reinvented the classic franchise with a tight, focused, and challenging adventure that respects the genre's roots while bringing its own fresh identity. You play as Sargon, an elite warrior exploring the cursed Mount Kaf to rescue Prince Ghassan. The world is beautifully interconnected, with areas like royal archives, catacombs, and ancient temples, each packed with secrets, puzzles, and visual detail inspired by Persian mythology. Combat is where the game really shines. The parry and counter system is deep and rewarding, making every encounter feel like a precise, rhythmic duel. Boss fights are standout highlights, each pushing your mastery of the mechanics. Platforming is equally satisfying, with new abilities opening shortcuts, hidden paths, and entirely new regions, delivering that classic Metroidvania sense of progression. The Lost Crown also includes thoughtful difficulty options, making it accessible without sacrificing challenge. With its sharp controls, clever level design, stylish presentation, and a respectful nod to Prince of Persia's legacy, The Lost Crown is a true gem and one of the most underrated single-player experiences on PS5.
Next up is Hitman: World of Assassination, the definitive way to experience Agent 47. This package unifies all three modern Hitman games into one massive collection, offering years of content plus the excellent freelancer roguelike mode. What makes Hitman truly special is the freedom it gives you. Each mission is a sprawling sandbox, whether you're sneaking through a Miami racetrack, navigating a Mumbai slum, or infiltrating a Gothic English mansion. Every assassination can be approached in countless ways: poison, staged accidents, sniping, disguises, or pure improvisation. The level design is some of the best in gaming. Each environment is packed with NPC routines, overheard conversations, environmental interactions, and creative opportunities to exploit. The game encourages experimentation, letting you pull off wild kills like dropping chandeliers, pushing targets during a photo shoot, or engineering accidents that look perfectly natural. Replayability is enormous. Mission stories, challenges, mastery levels, online player-made contracts, rotating elusive targets, and the high-stakes freelancer mode all keep the game fresh. Whether you aim for flawless, silent assassin runs or enjoy causing controlled chaos, Hitman: World of Assassination delivers endless fun and stands as one of the greatest stealth games ever made.
Coming in next is Stellar Blade, one of 2024's biggest surprises. This Korean-developed action game seemingly came out of nowhere and delivered a stylish, polished experience that blends tight sci-fi storytelling with incredibly smooth, skill-based combat. Set on a ruined Earth overrun by alien creatures known as Nativas, you play as Eve, a soldier sent from a space colony to reclaim humanity's home. The narrative explores identity, humanity, and what survival truly means in a dying world, supported by stunning environments ranging from desolate wastelands to overgrown, reclaimed cities. Combat is where Stellar Blade truly shines. It balances fast-paced action with precise timing. Parries, dodges, and combo execution are essential, and the game rewards mastery rather than button mashing. Boss fights are cinematic and challenging, pushing your reflexes and strategy to the limit. Customization adds depth, with multiple skill trees that let you tailor Eve's playstyle. Exploration feels rewarding too, offering upgrades, cosmetics, and lore pieces that flesh out the world. With its slick presentation, incredible soundtrack, and razor-sharp combat, critics praised Stellar Blade for its technical polish and satisfying gameplay loop. If you enjoy action games like Nier Automata or Bayonetta, but want something more grounded and precise, this is absolutely one to play. Here's something special. Demon Souls, the PS5 launch title that showed the world what next-gen gaming could look like. Bluepoint Games completely remade From Software's cult classic from the ground up, delivering one of the most visually impressive games on the console, while preserving the brutal, methodical challenge that defined the original. Set in the cursed kingdom of Boletaria, you play as an undead warrior trying to stop the Old One from consuming the world. The atmosphere is oppressive and haunting, with gothic architecture, eerie lighting, and grotesque enemies that create tension in every zone. The gameplay is pure Souls, deliberate, unforgiving, and deeply rewarding. Every encounter matters, stamina management is essential, and death always carries weight. But it's fair. You learn, adapt, and master enemy patterns, and the sense of accomplishment is immense. Build variety is wide open, allowing magic users, strength builds, dex-focused warriors, hybrids, and more. Each of the 5 archstones leads to a fully distinct world with its own aesthetic, hazards, and boss encounters, ranging from epic duels to clever puzzle-style fights. The PS5's hardware elevates the experience even further with instant loading, smooth 60 FPS gameplay, and impactful haptic feedback. Whether you're new to Soulsborne titles or want to see where the modern era of challenging action RPGs began, Demon Souls is both a technical showcase and a masterclass in game design.
Now we're talking Spider-Man 2, Insomniac's 2023 sequel that delivers the ultimate Spider-Man experience. This time, you play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales, switching between them as they take on their biggest threats yet, Kraven the Hunter and Venom. New York has expanded to include Brooklyn and Queens, making this the largest Spider-Man map to date. Traversal feels incredible, especially with the addition of web wings that let you glide across the city. Both Spider-Man have distinct abilities and upgrade paths, keeping gameplay fresh from start to finish. The story is Insomniac's strongest yet, diving deep into Peter's struggle with the symbiote and its corrupting influence. His descent into darkness, contrasted with Miles' attempts to keep him grounded, creates powerful emotional tension. Peter's relationship with Harry Osborn adds personal stakes, and even Mary Jane's missions benefit from improved stealth gameplay. Combat is refined and more dynamic than ever. Peter's symbiote powers are brutal and satisfying, while Miles' Venom abilities have been expanded significantly. Enemy variety keeps encounters challenging, and boss fights against Lizard, Kraven, and Venom are spectacular highlights. Side content is meaningful and rewarding. You'll help characters in both heroes' lives, complete challenges, unlock dozens of unique suits, and use one of the best photo modes in gaming to capture the expanded city. With outstanding pacing, emotional storytelling, and the most polished superhero gameplay ever made, Spider-Man 2 stands as a must-play PS5 exclusive and one of Insomniac's finest achievements.
Astro Bot is the best platformer on PS5 and one of the most joyful gaming experiences in years. This charming little robot finally gets a full-scale adventure of his own, and it deservedly won Game of the Year at the Game Awards 2024. The game is a love letter to PlayStation history and a masterclass in platforming design. You'll travel across galaxies to rescue your robot crew, with each world introducing new mechanics, fresh ideas, and delightful surprises. The creativity is non-stop. One level has you soaking up water as a sponge. The next turns you into a towering giant, smashing everything around you. What truly sets Astro Bot apart is how brilliantly it uses the PS5's hardware. The DualSense controller is essential to the experience. Haptic feedback lets you feel every texture Astro walks on, and adaptive triggers provide unique resistance for different actions. The game is also packed with playful references to PlayStation's legacy, featuring cameos from iconic characters across the platform's history. Even if you don't catch the nods, the tight controls and impeccable level design make it an outstanding platformer in its own right.
Boss fights are inventive and memorable, offering real challenge without frustration. Collectibles encourage exploration. Every level hides secrets, and the colorful art style makes the entire adventure a joy to experience. Critics hailed it as the best platformer since Mario Odyssey, and for good reason. If you want pure fun and irresistible charm, Astro Bot is absolutely essential, and proof that PlayStation can create mascots every bit as iconic as Nintendo's.
Halfway through the list, we have Final Fantasy XVI, Square Enix's bold reinvention of the franchise. This is Final Fantasy blended with the tone of Game of Thrones, a dark medieval fantasy world, mature storytelling, and intense political intrigue. Set in the war-torn land of Valistia, you play as Clive Rosfield, whose quest for revenge leads him into a conflict shaped by powerful factions and their icons, Final Fantasy's iconic summons reimagined as living weapons capable of leveling entire kingdoms. Combat is a dramatic shift for the series. Fast-paced, fully action-driven, and incredibly cinematic. It lets you wield multiple icon abilities that change your playstyle and can be chained into explosive combos. Boss fights are massive, multi-phase battles, sometimes erupting into kaiju-scale clashes between icons that transform whole landscapes. The presentation is top tier, with outstanding voice acting, stunning cutscenes, and a sweeping score that feels classic Final Fantasy in the best way. Accessibility options help bridge the gap for players new to action combat, and side quests add meaningful depth to the world and characters. For fans who want a darker, more action-focused Final Fantasy with a gripping narrative, Final Fantasy XVI delivers an unforgettable epic that pushes the franchise into exciting new territory.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is the perfect example of how to remake a classic. Capcom took one of the greatest games ever made and rebuilt it for modern audiences while preserving everything fans loved. You play as Leon S. Kennedy on a mission to rescue the president's daughter in rural Spain, but the operation quickly turns into a desperate fight for survival against villagers infected by a sinister parasite. The atmosphere is tense, dangerous, and constantly keeps you on edge. Combat is modernized but faithful to the original. Resource management matters, enemies are smarter and more aggressive, and the new parry system adds depth and strategy. The level design shines with smart exploration, environmental puzzles, weapon upgrades, and iconic boss fights reimagined with stunning visuals. The Separate Ways DLC expands the story with Ada Wong's perspective. Whether you're returning or playing for the first time, Resident Evil 4 Remake is a masterpiece.
Ghost of Yotei is Sucker Punch's stunning 2025 sequel, and it's far more than just another Ghost of Tsushima. Set 300 years later with a new protagonist and a new region, the game tells a completely fresh story. You play as Atsu, an Onimusha warrior living in 1603 Hokkaido during Japan's unification under the Tokugawa shogunate. The narrative is more personal and character-driven, exploring identity, purpose, and the evolving role of women in society. The world is absolutely breathtaking, with diverse landscapes like sprawling grasslands, dense forests, volcanic hot springs, and snowy tundras. Dynamic weather and a full day-night cycle make exploration feel alive. Combat has been refined with Atsu's unique fighting style, offering powerful stealth and melee options along with intense one-on-one duels. The Guiding Wind returns. An improved photo mode lets you capture the gorgeous scenery, and side activities deepen your connection to Hokkaido. Critics praised Ghost of Yotei as one of 2025's best games, an emotional, visually stunning showcase of what the PS5 can do.
Metaphor ReFantazio is Atlas at the peak of their craft. From the creators of Persona, this brand new fantasy RPG became a global hit and even won GameSpot's 2024 Game of the Year. Set in the kingdom of Uchronia, you're competing to become the next king in a world where tribes struggle with tension, prejudice, and political unrest. The story tackles themes of discrimination, democracy, and anxiety, offering a mature narrative filled with tough questions and meaningful choices. Combat is outstanding, blending real-time encounters for minor fights with full turn-based battles for tougher enemies.
The archetype system lets you unlock and mix job classes, creating deep strategic combinations. Social simulation elements return in a fresh way. You build bonds, manage your time, and unlock new abilities through relationships and side quests. With stunning art by Shigenori Soejima, a phenomenal Shoji Meguro soundtrack, and over 80 hours of rich content, Metaphor ReFantazio proves Atlus can build worlds every bit as captivating as Persona.
The Last of Us Part 1 is a masterful PS5 remake of the game that defined a generation. Completely rebuilt from the ground up, it delivers the definitive way to experience Joel and Ellie's journey. Set 20 years after a fungal pandemic collapses society, Joel is tasked with smuggling Ellie across a ruined America. What begins as a job evolves into a powerful surrogate father-daughter bond. The story is emotional, uncomfortable, and morally complex, refusing to offer easy answers. Gameplay has been modernized with mechanics from Part 2. Combat is tense and resource scarce, encouraging careful stealth, improvisation, and smart decision-making. Enemies are aggressive and adaptive, and the infected, especially clickers, remain terrifying threats. Visually, the remake is stunning, with expressive character models and environments rich in environmental storytelling. The Left Behind DLC is included, along with some of the most robust accessibility features in gaming. Whether you're replaying it or experiencing it for the first time, The Last of Us Part 1 is essential.
Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, is Hideo Kojima's bold 2025 follow-up that improves on the original in every meaningful way. You return as Sam Porter Bridges, now expanding the chiral network across entirely new continents, where the stakes are higher, the mysteries deeper, and the themes of connection versus isolation hit harder than ever. Kojima's signature storytelling, strange, ambitious, emotional, is delivered through incredible performances from a stellar cast. Traversal is more satisfying than before, with new vehicles, upgraded tools, and smarter planning systems that make navigating treacherous terrain feel meditative and rewarding. Every delivery matters, and the world reacts dynamically to both your actions and those of other players. Combat and stealth have also been expanded, featuring more varied human threats and terrifying BT encounters intensified by timefall storms and atmospheric horror. Visually breathtaking, with otherworldly landscapes and stunning character models, Death Stranding 2 blends refined mechanics, broader gameplay variety, and Kojima's unmistakable vision into a truly unforgettable experience. Square Enix set out to reimagine one of gaming's most beloved stories on a massive scale, expanding it into one of the most ambitious JRPG worlds in years. That vision comes to life in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the middle chapter of the Remake trilogy that finally goes full open world. Picking up after Remake, Cloud and the party leave Midgar and journey across a vast world in pursuit of Sephiroth. The narrative deepens relationships, adds new mysteries, and gives each character meaningful development, with side quests that flesh out personalities, backstories, and even romance paths. The open world is stunning, featuring iconic regions like the Grasslands, Junon, Costa del Sol, and the Gold Saucer, each filled with exploration, mini-games, and unique combat challenges. Combat builds on Remake with synergy abilities, fluid character switching, and deeper materia customization. Boss battles are spectacular cinematic showcases of the system. With tons of side content, engaging minigames, and a beautifully realized world, Rebirth proves JRPGs can embrace open-world design without losing narrative focus. It's a remarkable achievement for fans old and new.
Few games have reshaped the open world genre as dramatically as this one. From Software set out to create a world that rewards curiosity instead of guiding you, and Elden Ring became the defining example of how powerful that approach can be. The Lands Between is a vast, interconnected world filled with danger, secrets, and breathtaking discoveries in every direction. Hidden dungeons, optional bosses, and entire underground kingdoms make exploration feel endlessly rewarding. The classic Souls formula feels perfectly at home here. Combat is challenging but fair, encouraging patience, timing, and experimentation. Build variety is enormous, letting you craft magic casters, strength tanks, nimble assassins, whatever style you want. Weapon arts, ashes, and summons add depth without reducing difficulty. Instead of spoon-feeding its story, the game lets you piece together its tragic lore through environments, items, and cryptic NPCs. And the boss fights? Unforgettable, some of the best ever made. With stunning art direction and unmatched freedom, Elden Ring remains one of the greatest games ever created.
Naughty Dog set out to create their most daring and emotionally challenging game yet, one that pushes storytelling, character perspective, and technical craft to the absolute edge. That vision comes to life in The Last of Us Part 2, a brutal, thought-provoking sequel that refuses to take the safe route. 5 years after the first game, Ellie's world is shattered by a violent event that sends her on a relentless path of revenge. Her journey through a ravaged Seattle explores guilt, grief, and the consequences of violence with an honesty few games attempt. Gameplay is intense and grounded, stealth is sharper, combat is brutally visceral, and enemies work together in frighteningly realistic ways. Technically, it's stunning. Expressive animations, dense environments, incredible sound design, and a haunting score. With exceptional accessibility features and a storytelling structure that challenges your perspective, The Last of Us Part 2 stands as one of the most powerful and unforgettable achievements.
Few PlayStation games blend emotion, scale, and pure craftsmanship as perfectly as this one. Santa Monica Studio delivered an unforgettable finale to Kratos and Atreus' Norse journey with God of War Ragnarök, a game that elevates everything the 2018 reboot introduced. Set several years later, the duo now faces the coming of Ragnarök, while navigating the growing tension between a protective father and a son eager to understand his destiny. Their evolving relationship gives the story real weight, balancing mythic spectacle with intimate character moments. Combat is at its absolute peak, hard-hitting, fluid, and endlessly satisfying. The Leviathan axe and Blades of Chaos feel incredible, and new abilities and enemy types keep every encounter fresh. The 9 realms are more varied and beautiful than ever, filled with meaningful side quests and memorable characters. Stunning visuals, seamless cinematics, powerful performances, and an incredible score tie it all together. As a complete package, Ragnarök stands as one of the finest single-player experiences ever made.
And there you have it, 16 of the best single-player experiences on PlayStation 5. From the emotion of God of War Ragnarök to the challenge of Elden Ring, the storytelling of The Last of Us Part 2 to the pure fun of Astro Bot. These games show why single-player adventures are still unbeatable. Which one is your favorite? And what PS5 single-player games would you add to the list? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more gaming content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.